Long ago, in a certain village, there lived a poor cobbler. He was unmarried, earning just enough by mending people's shoes to survive. His income was so meager that he could hardly fill his stomach, so the thought of marriage never even crossed his mind. One day, he felt a craving for khichdi, rice and lentils. He hadn't eaten it in a long time. Excited, he bought rice and lentils from the market and carefully prepared the dish. When it was ready, he poured it into a large plate to let it cool. While waiting, he thought, let me quickly return the shoes I've stitched to their owners. By the time I return, the khichdi will be perfect to eat. So, he left it there and went out. By chance, a hungry jackal wandering from the forest happened to pass by. Seeing the cobbler's house empty, it sneaked inside. There it spotted the freshly made khichdi. Without a second thought, it began to eat greedily. Just then, the cobbler returned. He was eager to eat as well and had hurried back after finishing his deliveries. But when he entered, he saw the jackal happily eating his khichdi. Furious, he quickly shut the door, tied the jackal with a rope, and picked up a heavy stick. Then, whenever he got the chance, he beat the jackal badly. The jackal, helpless and tied, suffered silently. By morning, it thought, if this continues, I won't survive. I need a plan. Soon, an idea struck. It twisted itself further in the rope and began howling loudly, as if calling its companions. The forest was nearby, and other jackals heard its cries. Among them was one jackal who was its close friend. Recognizing the voice, he came searching and finally reached the cobbler's house. Peeking inside, he saw his friend tied up, swollen and bruised from beatings. "Friend, what happened to you? How did you end up like this?" he asked. The tied jackal, hiding his pain, forced a smile and replied, "I'm actually enjoying myself. Look at me, I'm well fed and pampered, while you wander hungry in the forest. A kind man has tied me here and feeds me halwa puri every day so I don't escape." The other jackal, fooled by his words and seeing how fat he looked, grew envious. "How did you get such luck? Tell me your secret." The captive jackal said slyly, "I'll share it only if you promise never to tell anyone." The other jackal agreed instantly. "All right then," the captive whispered, "if you untie me and take my place, you too will enjoy the same treatment. In just a few days, you'll be fat and happy like me." Greedy and naive, the friend agreed. He untied him and allowed himself to be bound instead. The first jackal ran free, while the second was left tied up. When the cobbler returned, he picked up his stick and began thrashing the new jackal, thinking it was the same one. The poor creature screamed, "Why are you beating me? I've done nothing wrong." Hearing it speak in a human-like voice, the cobbler was shocked. "So you could talk all along? You tricked me earlier by staying silent." He beat him even harder, determined to take revenge for his lost khichdi. The new jackal, in agony, pleaded, "Please spare me. If you release me, I will arrange your marriage to a king's daughter." The cobbler laughed in disbelief. "What nonsense! I'm just a poor cobbler. How can I ever marry a princess?" But the jackal swore, "Trust me, I will make it happen." Curious and tempted, the cobbler untied him. The jackal promised, "Wait here. I'll soon bring you good news." Then he ran off. Reaching the river, the jackal crossed to the other side and magically took on human form, disguising himself as an envoy. He entered the court of a neighboring king and bowed. "Your Majesty, I bring greetings from my ruler, who wishes to marry your daughter." Coincidentally, the king did have a young daughter and was worried about finding her a suitor. Overjoyed, he immediately agreed and set a wedding date. The jackal returned to the cobbler and announced, "Your marriage is fixed with the princess." The cobbler, shocked and anxious, said, "But I have nothing, no money, no possessions." The jackal reassured him, "Don't worry. I'll take care of everything." On the wedding day, the jackal used clever tricks, bribing a washerman to spread clothes by the riverbank and a cotton seller to scatter fluffy cotton balls on the water. From afar, these looked like the grand tents of a royal procession and boats floating on the river. The king, watching from his palace, believed the royal wedding party had arrived. Meanwhile, the cobbler, guided by the jackal, was brought across the river with great honor. Seeing his future son-in-law alive and well, the king was delighted. The marriage was celebrated with grandeur, and the poor cobbler became the king's son-in-law. Afterward, the jackal, still in the envoy's disguise, advised the king, since the prince's entire family and wealth were lost in the river, it's better if he stays here with you. The king, already pleased with the match, agreed and gave the cobbler a palace to live in. Thus, the cobbler lived in royal luxury. The jackal, having fulfilled his promise, one day said, "Friend, I've done what I vowed. Now let me return to my kind." The cobbler tried to stop him, but the jackal left, returning to the forest. And so, the story ends. Dear friends, I hope you enjoyed this tale. If you liked it, do share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.